on it? It's possible.
It's possible.
Hey, here we got that festival.
Yeah, check the outdoor concert grounds. Festival
I'm excited
Park.
to see this thing.
So this is going to be permanent, right? This is just going to be an outdoor.
It looks permanent.
Concert structure. So, yeah. I got to go check that out outside. There's some. Looks like there's some good bands coming up. But I want to check out where it is and see how it's going to look. That should be pretty cool. Check that out in the summer, guys. Come say hi. We'll play some poker, see some concerts. I wonder if there's anything going on during the Borgata Summer Series. That would probably be well timed.
Yeah, it looked like a bunch of mid-June was when it was starting up.
Lemke with 2 8s. Will come in for the open.
I'd be surprised to see Justin play this hand.
Oh, so he's thinking about maybe a 3-bet. He talks about those offsuit aces.
Yeah, it's just the under the gun from Lemke, and Justin's stack doesn't really lend to it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Ace king from Andy, and now this is where that image is going to pay off for Andy.
Isn't it so unfair when players like this actually get the hand? Come on. Unbelievable, this game.
I can't see Brian doing anything but shoving after Andy 3-bets here either.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
Probably. I mean, I think we saw Joe earlier just call with his 9s in a similar situation where we thought he was always going to go all in.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what Lemke decides to do here, what Brian decides to do. Lemke, wow, instantly all in. Yeah. And we're going to see a really large coin flip now.
Lemke does not mess around like these other guys. When there's an automatic decision, it's just done, you know?
I think so too, yeah. He always acts pretty quickly. Andy kind of shrugs it off, and they're just flipping. Lemke has to be excited to see this hand when he gets called that fast, too.
We can say it's almost unlucky that Andy had the top of his range here.
Yeah, 8 on the flop, it almost just about ends it for Andy.
I don't know. I can see a
Let's
queen of
not be
spades
hasty.
Running straight cards or running flush cards. I mean, 4% is just not too much there on the flop.
Yeah.
Good point.
And Lemke improves to the full house, and we'll get the full double up. And they will basically trade stacks, it looks like. Brian's going to double to close to 5 million, and Andy's going to drop down to about 2 point. Let's see. Probably about 3 million, I want to say.
Yep.
Good.
3.4.
New leader.
Yeah, 3.4 it looks like. And Brian will become our chip leader with that pot.
We'll see if he wields the stack like Andy did.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic change a bit.
I don't think Brian's going to change his game up too much.
I think we'll see him definitely
open up a little bit.
Open at least a little more.
Yeah. He's probably been a bit strapped, not only because of his stack, but just because of Andy's not only stack, but aggressive tendencies.
Well, also, you know, Andy has fewer chips, so Brian may be able to open a little more liberally on his big blind.
We can see less of a discrepancy now between the stacks remaining here at the table.
Yeah, Brian and Andy basically flipped chip stacks there. Andy's still in very good shape, though, by no means out of it. In second place still.
Yeah, still enough chips on this table for some good play.
Once the blinds go up, the next level or two is where we're really going to start seeing some, real moves once these stacks get down there. See some. This is another look at our payouts and what they're playing for. 277,000 for first. Good shot of the signature room here at the Borgata. Some tables they're going to use tomorrow for the championship event. And some of the spectators here. I see DJ McKinnon on the left there, Jesse Cohen in the middle. Who's that?
Ryan Reese.
Is that Ryan Reese standing up?
World Series of Poker main event champion.
Legend.
I would assume he's in town for the WPT championship tomorrow.
Yeah, for the 15K.
I did see him
played
playing
the last couple events.
Yeah, I saw him playing the 1K 6 max as well. Yeah, Brian Lemke won a $500 event here back in January as well. Oh, there's Ryan Reese. I see him now.
Ben and Zaki both have, you know, the type of stack that you just can't do much with. They have the 20 to 30 big blind stack, so they've kind of taken a back seat to the action for a little while.
I like leveraging with these kind of stacks against like players who are just opening a lot. Like I like 3-betting on these like 22 to 30 big blinds. I just been doing that a lot.
It's a good play too,
I
because it
get
doesn't
credit
look
all the
like you're
time.
folding very often.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You know, Twitch chat said it best when, you know, Ben hasn't had a lot to work with, and he's just been kind of playing what he's got and waiting for his spots. So we see blind versus blind. Jim opts for the raise with the king 10, and Lemke comes along. Brian Lemke comes along with the 8-7. And it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Second pair for Brian. I don't think he's going anywhere on the flop right away. I think Jim's thinking auto c-bet on the ace high board here.
In that mentality, that auto c-bet is why I really don't mind floating on these kinds of boards either. Because they are always
Sure, yeah.
auto
And
c-betting.
we've seen Jim c-bet with a very high frequency today.
I don't think he's not. Has he not?
He checked back the ace-8 on the ace XX board.
Okay.
Lemke with the, you know, easy call with the second pair here. And a very interesting turn card, you know, because Jim pairs his 10, but Brian picks up the added flush draw to go with his pair. So now if we're Jim, do we bet again, or do we slow down at this point? What do you think?
You can bet for value here. I mean, he doesn't have to have only aces in his range.
You could also. There's also argument for checking, so you can get value on the river from hands that may not call. Maybe they'll call like a certain size bet on the turn, but maybe more on the river if you check.
Sure. Maybe give those
can, like, bomb the
Amandas
river
that are
then?
floating these flops a chance to take a little stab at it.
Okay. Okay.
And Brian has a decision. He has a, you know, quite a strong hand, but there's definitely some cards he doesn't want to see on the river, so it wouldn't surprise me if he bets or checks here.
We noticed James with the. Wow, we have two sweater to mouthers right now.
The battle
And
of
now
the
we got,
sweatshirts.
yeah, the sweater of the mouth is not a big hand, but it is some value.
I think he's just always covering his mouth. Maybe.
It could just be like when he's actually thinking. Like.
Yeah. Like he was moving around more because he was thinking.
If he had total air, maybe he wouldn't be thinking so much.
These guys are two of the quicker actors at the table. They generally both act pretty fast.
I like
pretty
betting
quick, pretty quick betting call there.
Yeah, that's true. I like betting the turn for Brian also because you get a cheaper showdown at river if it goes check on the end. If you check back and then miss, you might have to have a tough decision.
When he leads.
If Jim leads, yeah.
So Brian gets the flush on the river, and he's definitely going to put in another bet. Question is how much. Puts out about, looks like maybe 675, I want to say. And a tough spot for Jim. The backdoor flush draw did get there, which is going to be tough to put Brian on.
You have to, so Brian called the flop.
And then bet the turn and the river.
Yeah, calling the flop without, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of hands you call the flop with that you'd be bluffing. I mean, you could turn a 4 or a 7 into a bluff.
He could turn a 4 into a bluff. That makes sense. I think 8-6 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, 5-6 even gets there.
6-5, yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
but that's a straight now.
Makes sense too.
He could just have random, you know, king 9, king queen, king jack type floats. Those all could make some sense.
He might not give him credit because that's pretty big bet if he just had an ace.
Yeah, it's not that big. It's, what is it, about 40% a pot?
Yeah, I would actually expect Brian to bet a hand like ace 9 for this much, but
Oh, Jim takes the sweater off of his mouth again, so maybe he's, you know, again, we see him thinking about it. His hand did lose a lot of value, though, now that that flush gets there and he only has second pair. I don't know. What do you guys think?
And one straight got there, yeah.
that's tough. I think I'd probably fold. I would give him credit for an ace.
Yeah, I'm folding.
I mean, or better, but
Do you think Jim is more likely to call here because You know, last time with the ace-8, he made a big kind of lay down versus Zaki.
I think he's probably good enough to take each situation as individual situations and not be like, you know, taking emotions from other hands and bringing them into decision making in this
He's professional
current
enough
situation.
to remove himself.
Yeah, and I think more recreational players is where you'd probably see tendencies like that.
So Jim does make the, again, correct laydown, and Brian extends his chip lead. And Jim looks quite unhappy about his fold. You know, you got to give Jim a little bit of credit. He made the correct decision on the turn, making the call on the correct fold on the river. It's tough to do that. You know, it's frustrating turning your pair and then putting more money in and then still folding. But he made the right read, so you got to give him some credit there.
He had the king of clubs, too. He could have decided to do some kind of bluff raise.
Reppage.
Interesting. We saw Dan Watt try that last time.
Yeah.
In our stream that me and Tyler covered the final table, and he check shoved the river in a similar spot and got pretty much snapped off by 2 pair. So it didn't work out too well
for him. It was his whole stack. It was that was a big bluff.
Yep.
You got to give people credit though for trying it.
He had heart.
Oh,
That's definitely for sure.
I've definitely lit some stacks on fire, especially here at Borgata. Maybe in one of these before doing some stuff like that.
Jim on the button. Looks like he's going to open the queen 3 suited.
Seems reasonable.
Queen 3 of blue. Always nice to see the 4-color deck in action.
I disagree.
You disagree? How can you disagree?
This is weird. It doesn't look normal.
Listen to you live players. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't make sense why you would have 2 suits red and 2 suits black. Like,
I agree with that.
They should just all be different.
In the very beginning, they should have made poker that way, but they didn't.
Do you know why they didn't do that? Ink was cheaper. Ink was expensive, rather. So it was cheaper to just make them the same.
I don't know about that.
And it was harder to print cards that with all the different colors and stuff like that. Like, think of when cards first came around. You know, they didn't have a lot of dies, and stuff was more expensive.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's just custom. I hope Tab is listening. I want you guys to start using the 4-color deck here live.
Yeah, right.
They make that.
Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
they make it. I have one at home.
That's never happening.
Why would that never happen?
It's never happening. It did make it would make sense, but
it would be one of those things that like someone would look. Whoever plays for the first time would be like, oh, whoa, look at this. And then they would never mention it again because it just doesn't make a difference. And it just makes things so much more simpler. I don't know. You guys tell us what you think. 4-color deck or 2-color deck?
In real life.
Yeah, in real life. Would you want to see a 4-color deck if you came to the Borgata? I'm being informed on Twitter that the 311 concert is going to be right in the middle of the Summer Poker Open.
There you go.
So you guys can come down and check it out.
I think I'll just skip the WSOP main event to come see that.
Come see 311 instead.
Yeah.
4 colors. I got a lot of love for 4 colors. 4 colors all day.
Of course.
All decks
Everybody
be 4
on
colors.
Twitch is an online poker player.
4,
Come
always
on.
4. 4-color deck.
No way.
No, someone doesn't agree. They call me bad.
We
names.
have one, Gags, you dolt. We have one.
People would misread their flushes less with 4-color deck. That's true. That's why there's no downside to it. The only downside is I like the classic. That's the only reason that it might not be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it.
I agree.
But that's just one of those things that people just got to, get over, kind of.
It's too hard to do it everywhere, so it's just not going to happen.
We see Ben open the 8-6 suited under the gun. Brian Lemke calls the button with the ace-6 suited, and Andy defends big with the ace-3. Ben is going to continue with second pair. Bets about 1/3 pot, it looks like, about 175. Is that what that was? 165. Brian folds, and I would imagine Andy folds. A relatively coordinated board that Ben is betting the 2 people on. Give him some credit.
Neither of those guys seem super happy about folding, but they did.
I don't think they're ever happy folding.
Folding is for the birds.
BorgataPoker.com is giving you $20 to play online.
Yeah, guys, sign up.
Bonus.
If you guys are in New Jersey and you haven't played on BorgataPoker.com, you should come check it out. We got a good tournament series going on now. Main event is on Sunday, actually, of that tournament series. For $200, they have a really big guarantee on that.
What is the guarantee? Like 100,000 or more, maybe?
I think
Was
it's 150
100,000
actually.
last week. Yeah.
It was 100,000 last week. I think this week is 150. Yeah.
Pretty good.
We now have some love for 5-color and 8-color decks that
There you go.
people are now recommending. So rework poker and have 8 different symbols instead. So I guess 8 suits instead of 4. That'd be interesting. We're
Making a whole new game now.
We're gonna have to change the ranking system of flushes. I think flushes seem a little higher now. Here's some background noise. They shuffle some tournaments around in this Borgata poker room. I think this is that satellite for 15K that we hear starting.
Yep, we got the 6 max going, got satellites going here. Lots going on here at Borgata.
Are these satellites must play for the main event?
I
or for the
believe the
World Poker Tour
megas
Championship?
are. I'm not positive, but I believe the megas are.
Hope they are. I like that.
The single tables are not, though, I don't think. I see Mr. Joe McKeon, I guess, is no longer participating in the 6 max.
That could be a break.
No, I'm going to go with no longer participating.
He tried to sneak into the booth here earlier today. Security booted him.
we had security on it, though. Don't worry. We won't let him near the mic, guys. I have an adamant tweet against the 4-color deck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Adamant against, huh?
Yeah, apparently. Lots of no's.
I remember one time I was charged with going to the store and buying a deck because we were playing a home game tournament. We didn't have a deck. And since I was the one that was going to go, I promised I was going to come back with the most ridiculous deck I could find. So I came back with a Winnie the Pooh deck. It was blue and black, or blue and purple were the 2 suits. So people were misreading their hands all over the place.
Blue and purple?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound very good.
I ended up winning the home game tournament. That's what the brag was all about. Because my opponent misread his hand and thought he had a flush.
And
2 big hands here,
yep,
yeah.
Justin
That's not
opens,
fair.
Ben snap goes all in.
Really unlucky for Ben.
Yep.
For Justin to have such a big hands here. You know, obviously cooler. And Ben's going to need some help to stay alive here. And there it is.
That's help. That's helpful.
Diamond on the turn gives
Always
Zaki
a
a
sweat.
bunch of outs, though. And the
That's a
10 on the
safe.
river is
River.
not going to do it.
Zaki's going to be really crippled here, right?
Yeah, Zaki's
One big.
bad luck at final tables. Looks like it's going to continue here.
Always a bridesmaid. Never the bride. He's got a chance. Let's go. Let's see a comeback.
Sure.
That's,
Thinks he's out, it looks like.
No,
but
he's got about 200,000 left. He has about 3.5, 4 big blinds left. Obviously, not a lot to work with.
Well, it
And
looks
he
like our
looks-
stacks could be incorrect because he's trying to hike out.
Well, they're still counting out Ben's stack here, but looks like our graphics are saying he's got about 1 big blind left. Yeah.
We
Definitely
haven't seen many of these yet, just like confrontations that just, you know,
2
play
hands,
themselves
yeah.
or whatever. Which is cool. It's nice that we're not seeing much of that.
That first hand, when we started the stream, I'm kind of surprised that didn't get into a.
when Jim made the flush.
When
and
everyone
hit the
in
pair,
a 3-way
yeah.
pot,
Oh,
everyone had like a blade, and
Everyone did have really good hands, yeah.
nothing really happened.
Yeah,
You know, and that's-
because Jim checked the flush back on the turn. And it made sense, too, for him to be checking it.
The hand was played well. You
Yep.
know, I can't say
By
there was
everyone, yeah.
mistakes. I was just shocked when so many people have good hands. Not more chips get in there somehow. It always surprised me, but
Yeah.
1 big blind left for Zaki. Here's that chip in the chair hope everyone hopes for. What is the buy-in for this event? The event's a $2,700 Spring Poker Open Championship event. And again, these players are playing for $277,000. You see right there, Justin Zaki lost 94% of his stack. Obviously, crippling blow to him.
and he seems a bit frustrated within reason. He's been in this spot a lot of times. This guy.
Very
Constantly-
frustrating.
Yeah,
you know.
constantly getting deep in these things and losing in big spots like that, it can be painful when you just keep getting deep.
Yeah, you can even see it on Ben's face. I mean, never really sorry, but he feels for Justin there. You can see.
Yeah, you know, you've been in his spot before.
And
Yeah.
this is phenomenal for Justin. Just like this is like a dream situation when you're this short. And he's UTG, so the blind was about to hit, and this is obviously his spot. So wish him good luck. Assuming with his stack, he will be getting called.
Yeah, Ben might even just
Bye.
still open here.
Justin does not get the Ben ISO. James with an ace.
Looks like he is going to raise.
Certainly.
Now, Justin Zaki really wants to see Jim raise, so he gets the ISO, get heads up, rather than be
does.
three ways. So hope
Great
for
spot.
Zaki. Jim's going to need to improve in order to get the elimination. Pretty safe flop. Still a safe turn. Only an ace now for Jim. And
There
that
we
will
go.
seal the double up for Zaki. Actually, he like almost triples up. He does triple up,
Definitely
actually. He had
tripled up.
1.5 big blinds. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 3.5 times. So Zaki's still going to remain the short stack. Feels good having, the ability to post a big blind at least.
And how much is the next payout? I believe the next payout is 61,000.
Yeah, it's 61, 62, right around
And
there.
I think there is like a $16,000 or $17,000 pay jump between that and the next.
Yep. Be fun to see Justin double up one more time, get back in the action.
Give him a shot. I would imagine he puts a lot of hands here in the big blind.
He has 3.5, 4 big blinds.
He's got 280, I think. 4 and change. And it looks like he's going with.
Looks like he likes it.
You like it? You
Whatever
like
he
it a
found.
taste?
He goes with queen 10.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
that's
Sure.
that's good. And they're
You
gonna be
gotta
flipping.
go with that, yeah. Can't be folding that with
See if Zaki can parlay his one big blind.
Jesus,
Back into
gets him to
things.
10.
just classic poker.
King Deuce is not the worst flop in the world for Zaki. There's some good turns. There's one of them.
Good turn
Ace,
card.
Queen, Jack, or 10 now.
More outs for
A lot
him.
of outs.
Oh, look at the outs on the board. We got a nice
No,
graphic.
but the 5's not going to do it.
No.
And with that, Justin Zaki will be our 5th place finisher. Congratulations to him. Another deep run to add
And
to
consolation prize is
resume.
$61,000. Not so bad.
Yeah, if you told any poker player when they signed up for the tournament that they were going to make $60,000, they'd be pretty happy. But at the same time, when you're in this spot and, you lose the way he did, it feels pretty bad.
Yeah.
Poker is such so bittersweet in that way. And outsiders are often quick to say, oh, you made $60,000. What are you upset about? But you're in that situation, and first place is so much more. Especially knowing that you played your best and you got it in good.
Yeah.
Definitely just can be painful.
You can see Jim smiling here. Everyone's always happy to ladder their way up a little bit.
It relieves a lot of pressure. A lot of times, you're in this final table, and especially as like a middle stack where you maybe could bust. I'm thinking like Ben or how Brian came into the final table. You're thinking I'm 3rd or 4th out of 6 people. I'm in good shape. Maybe I'll win. Maybe I won't. But there's always a chance you get 6th. So getting a couple of pay jumps in there definitely feels good.
Yeah, it's great.
I think you see the
Lightens
game
the mood
open up
for
a lot of
everybody.
times too when that sort of thing happens. And that's the first walk we've seen at this final table. Andy just gets the walk.
Yeah, it's not surprising it comes from those players. Lemke giving the walk to Andy.
Yeah, to that player.
seen Andy's been pretty quiet after he lost that big pot versus Brian, the big flip. You know, I think he definitely, you know, maybe hasn't had so many hands. I mean, although that hasn't stopped him in the past, but I wonder if just the blow to the momentum is what's slowing him down a bit now.
Also, blinds went up, stacks get shallower.
True.
He knows with his image, if he's going to keep on opening, he's going to become easy to exploit rather by competent players who are sitting on around 20 big blinds, who will be rejamming, I would think, with a good frequency, especially against a player like Andy, who everyone kind of knows is opening a bunch.
Yeah, we saw Ben do quite a bit of reshoving on him earlier. Andy limps and Ben checks his option, and Andy's just going to go ahead and bet. And it looks like Ben's going to go ahead and not fold. He raises, it looks like.
Yeah.
Is that a min raise?
I like this. It's credible, and Andy could have absolutely any two.
Yeah, it's just a min raise, and I'll just take it down. There you go.
Nice little play. It was a really
Definitely
small pot,
interested
but
to see Ben play now that he has some more chips.
yeah.
Heard some things about his game recently, so let's take a look at our payouts. $78,000 for the fourth place finisher, all the way up to the winner, $277,000 in the championship trophy. Here are the chip stacks. Brian Lemke, our current leader. Ben Zamani in second, 3 million. Andy Spears right behind him with also 3 million, and then Jim Gilbert is actually the short stack with 2 million, which is kind of surprising to see because I kept thinking how Jim was like middle of the pack kind of guy, but I guess not. There's only 4 left. 2 million just is the short stack. You know, just over 30 bigs. And actually, we've gone up now. Big one is now actually 80,000.
Yeah, the graphic said 26 bigs, I think, or 24.
Yeah, yeah.
26.
So that makes sense.
Trip Donkey saying older guy is gonna win. Who's the older
Who's the
guy? OMG.
I think Lemke is the oldest at the final table.
Stop.
Lemke's in his mid-30s.
Granddaddy Lemsk.
How old is Stein? Do we know? Stein is
27?
28, I think, yeah.
He looks
Almost
young.
29.
Stein is Ben Zamani.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Other players out there don't know. Viewers, I mean.
That's actually the only name he has on his bio sheet is Stein.
He knows we would know.
So Andy opens with the 10-4 suited on the button, and Ben defends out of the small blind. And they will go heads up to the flop. Ben's going to love that one. Queen 5-3 is just what he was looking for. Not too much for Andy, but
10-5-4 is what he's looking for.
yeah, I guess that's true.
But he didn't know that.
Andy has the potential to do some bluffing here, though, definitely on some turns and rivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now if you're Ben, do you just go ahead and check raise here, or do you think he's going to get tricky?
I don't really see any. I would not be. I mean, I would just give someone who's probably betting a chance to bet more. Bet again.
You think he tries the min raise again like he did last hand?
That would be fun.
He has a reputation for a non-standard line.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do that.
I like it.
He's at least going to raise, it looks like. Slightly more. 480, is that what that is? Kind of hard to see sometimes.
That's not a board people check raise very often.
It's dry.
So Andy might get an idea to do something crazy.
Yeah, I like
yeah,
it from
480, and Andy does find the fold.
I like it from Ben, just given the dynamic that he had just min raised a flop against this player. So doing it again, hoping he'll spaz, especially an aggressive player who's capable of spazzing or doing something there.
As we see that shot of Ben, we want to give a very special thank you to our live stream sponsor, Rymax. Rymax Marketing Service is the leader in providing player and employee loyalty solutions to the gaming industry. Rymax award-winning programs and events are proven to engage, motivate, and reward, as well as create loyalty with an element of fun. For more information, visit rymaxinc.com. So thanks to them. That's the big banner behind Ben you see there as he stacks those new watermelon chips he picked up. Those are my favorite chips. Have
They're his
I said that
favorite.
already, guys?
You may have said that once or twice.
I hope they bring out the black and yellow ones soon, too. Those are pretty cool.
Oh, man. Last time it was a big ordeal trying to figure out what color they were.
Oh, were we arguing about them?
Yeah. And when Tab told us they were orange and black,
Oh, I remember that.
like
yeah, that was the other
blue and
set,
black
though.
dress thing that everyone was talking about.
Yeah, that was the
similar.
other set, though. That was definitely a weird color. These are a bit more straightforward.
Lemke gets a walk there from Jim's in the small blind giving Lemke a walk. Why does it say all hands under Ben Zamani right now? I don't know what that. Oh, I see.
I'm
Now
sorry.
I
What
see
is
the
this?
graphic.
Oh, this is his.
I only saw the bottom part of it.
Yeah, so we're seeing his stats over the last 10 hands versus, I guess, earlier. VPIP, for those that don't know, is voluntarily puts money in pot. Basically, what percentage of pots is he playing? And that's any action. That can be a raise, a call, 3-bet, anytime he puts money into the pot. PFR is just proof of raise, basically how much is he raising. And so you see he was playing about 40-20, so he's seems to be raising about half the time, puts chips in the pot, and then playing about 40% of hands over the last 10 or 15 hands, which is...
That's what our crew's trying to show us, that that since he won that pot versus Zaki, he's really amped it up.
And that's usually what happens when, you know, players do pick up chips. They tend to be more aggressive and play more pots. And looks like we see Jim thinking about making a move with the 7-5. But
Tough
decides to lay
stack
it down.
size he's got there. 25 bigs to do anything with it. But like Amanda said, she likes to leverage that kind of stack and just go ahead and 3-bet with that stack. Because it does look like you're not going anywhere.
It does look really strong, and it's pretty hard for Ben to really do much other than just fold or go all in there. So yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad situation, especially Jim's been not super 3-betty, so I think he can probably get away with some stuff.
So we have Andy defending the big blind with a really strong hand, decides not to 3-bet. That's probably a stack size thing. They both have a lot of chips. He decides to just play a pot with ace-jack suited rather than 3-bet.
A little surprising to see, just because he's been 3-betting so much.
That might be part of the problem, because if you have been 3-betting a ton and you 3-bet that hand, if you get 4-bet, what do you do?
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a tough spot.
Because it's so high on your range of hands to 3-bet, you don't want to be folding to 4-bets, but at the same time, it's just ace-jack suited. You don't really want to be putting in that many chips.
Check on the turn, pretty straightforward. Ben probably thinks he's the best hand a lot with his ace-9 high still. But after that river, Andy just has the stone nuts here.
That tiny bluff that Andy made earlier with the queen 3.
I think it might get him paid here.
Yeah. Might get him a call here.
A little bit of a different situation here, but I think you may be right. You know, it's definitely hard to put Andy on a lot of better ace highs. It's hard to put Andy on a lot of pairs. You know, he'll be 3-betting a lot of those. The random queen jack, he probably just folds the flop with those types of hands. So definitely a little tough to put Andy on this exact hand in particular.
It's a lot bigger bet than he made when he made that little bluff against Jim. This is a half pot.
So you think he should have gone a little smaller, keep it a little more consistent with what he's done in the past, maybe?
Maybe.
Definitely something to think about.
It's still not a big bet. I mean, it's half the pot. It's a normal size bet.
Looks like by Ben's demeanor, I would guess he's going to fold here. Most of the time when people start, you know, laughing and talking, they tend to just lay their hand down because they're not too confident. But yeah, he does lay it down.
He didn't like folding it just because.
Well, like we said,
he can't help himself in those spots.
It's ace high. It's hard to, you know, it's hard to put him on a better hand, really.
There we go.
So we take a look at Andy's VPIP. Wow, 50%.
That's all hands of the day, too.
That's the whole day. Yeah, he's been playing literally half of the hands he's been dealt. And last 10 hands, pretty high. He defended his big blind like 3 of those hands, I think. And there's the his day stats again. Definitely would be considering him a pretty loose, aggressive player if I saw those stats.
Yeah. I don't think you really need a HUD to
know that he's been playing a lot of pots. Yeah, I don't think so either. Brian Lemke with the King 10 of spades. Easy open on the button here. Pretty strong hand that you like to see. We'll see if Andy finds another VPIP with the Jack 9 of diamonds, which I would guess he will. Probably going to see a 3-bet, I would guess. He hasn't been calling in these spots too often today. He tends to just do more 3-betting. Although we saw Ben call in an earlier spot with 8-7 suited. So certainly wouldn't be a very far-fetched play. Andy does just call. And I think that may invite Ben along. No, he likes to fold out of the big with the 10-8 off. It's quite interesting to see some of these players choosing their, how often they call out of the big blind. Andy has seemed to like a lot more of those hands than than Ben has or Jim has. Second pair for Brian, and it looks like he's going to go ahead. I just go ahead and bet it. Unless Andy decides to get really creative, I think we just find the fold here. Which he actually hasn't been doing too much today. He hasn't gone too crazy post-flop or anything like that. Most of his aggression has just been straight pre-flop. Raising, 3-betting, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and that's true. I think he took a couple of small stabs, that's all. Lemke's got a little more standard percentages there, playing 23% of hands, and
most of Andy's post-flop aggression has just been c-betting and trying to take it down. We've seen some very wide c-bets. We haven't seen too much other, check raises or anything like that. And I don't think we've seen one check raise bluff yet, really, have we? Can you think of anything?
From anywhere?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I
right?
can't imagine. I can't think of any.
Andy with ace-6 of diamonds, definitely going to see this one. Definitely this one's going to get opened. Did Andy actually just limp the button there? Yeah, that's the first we've seen him do that. I wonder if this is because of stack sizes of Jim in the big. Jim has a little shorter stack than he did in the past, and I can't imagine he's going to get too creative with Jack 3. Very interesting to see these players mixing up their strategies as the day moves on and as stacks change. Yes. 10-8-4, all clubs. Jim, the only one with the club, but it's a pretty bad club.
Yeah, nobody hit this one very hard.
Yeah, so I can't imagine he's going to anyone's really going to put too many chips in this pot. Yeah, Andy doesn't even look like he's going to stab at it. I would guess Ben bets the turn, as long as it's a safe turn card.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that'll probably just end it right here. Thinking his options.
The all one suit flops really favor the people in position. So if I was Andy, I probably would have taken a stab there on the button. It's so hard to fight on those boards.
People tend to play very honestly on those flops also.
Yeah, I think so too.
So Ben will take down that small pot. I'm very interested to see, if Andy's going to continue with his limping strategy, or if he's just going to, go back to raising.
There we got a shot of Will the Thrill, the self-proclaimed best satellite player on the planet.
Is that true? Is that what he says?
Yep.
I think he's the best at a few things, self-proclaimed.
I think that's true.
So here's a nice little reset for everyone. If you're just joining us, this is the final table of the $2,700 Spring Poker Open Championship. I am Michael Gagliano. Alongside me, Tyler Patterson and Amanda Musumeci. Andy Spears under the gun here with ace-6 of hearts. Going to come in for the raise. Oh, wait. I spoke too soon.
Wow.
No, yeah, okay. I was going to say. I might have had to get up and leave if he folded this hand.
He just limped the ace-6 suited last hand. But
Yeah, but he's not the button. He's not limping this time. Ben Zamani in the 1 seat with ace-queen of diamonds.
I don't think he's going to fold either.
Nope, I don't think he's going to fold either.
Safe assumption.
Question is if he's going to call, if he's going to 3-bet. Looks like he's just going to call. He's been pretty.
That's interesting.
He's been a little on the passive side actually. Mainly because he doesn't have chips. So it's interesting to see this now that he has more chips.
I think he just doesn't want to have to get in 40 bigs with the ace-queen suited, and if he 3-bets and he gets any heat from Andy, there's no way he can fold.
Well, he's going to get some pressure now that Andy's flopped a flush draw here. 9-3-2 with the 2 hearts is generally a pretty dry flop.
Well, I don't see Ben folding on the flop, though.
Probably not. Question from the Twitch chat, why does Andy pause before looking at his cards? There's a card reader in the table that, this is how we know what their cards are with an RFID chip inside. That's why you see the players spread their cards like that. Some players choose to do that before they look at their cards, and some do it after they look at their cards. I guess Andy chooses to do that before. And that's why you see him do that before he looks. Turn 5 of clubs is an interesting one. It seems to have improved Ben's hand because Ben adds a wheel draw, but it actually gives Andy the better straight draw, since Andy will make the straight to the 6 before comes. And it looks like Andy's just going to go ahead and bet again, about half pot, 460,000, looks like. $415, I'm sorry. And that'll do it for Ben. Ben
Look
looks,
at that face. That was great.
Yeah, it's very frustrating when you have a big hand and then wind up folding. And that's one of those hands where the board doesn't materialize, and you waited so long to get dealt that ace-queen, and you just got to lay it down, and it stinks. But I think it's the right fold. I mean, he did technically have the best hand, but we saw, Andy still has really a lot of equity, and it's just really hard to call with ace-high.
Yep. I really liked the pain on Ben's face. That was great emotion shown.
So Ben does look very frustrated after that hand.
Yeah.
You can tell he's still thinking about it, and if there's anything else he could have done. I mean, he could have 3-bet pre, but even then, Andy might not have folded, and he probably would have actually just lost a bigger pot.
I wonder if he's upset at himself for how he played the hand, or if he's just upset because he got unlucky with what ran out,
Probably a little bit of both, maybe. Sometimes you just get the bad run out, and, you're upset about the board, but
yeah,
you rethink how you played it, and you're like, well, could I have done something different?
So this is the 3rd player that has limped the button, right? Oh, he raised.
No,
okay.
I don't think he put in. There's a little confusion, it seemed, about over the amount that he put in, but he looks like he put in 175. I don't see how it could be anything but a raise. 8-4 off for Andy in the big blind, and he'll just lay it down. So with 4 players remaining, blinds at 40,000, 80,000. Lemke's been pretty quiet since he won that last pot. About 2 orbits ago. We haven't really seen him do too much. Sometimes it happens when players just don't get the cards, and sometimes there's a break coming up soon. Maybe the players starting to get a little tired. They've been playing for close to 4 hours now.
I think they played pretty late in the last night trying to get down to 6. Is that correct?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Sorry.
They played till about 2:30, 2:45 last night. you know, they didn't start today until 2:30, so they definitely had some time to sleep, but still was a late night for a lot of these guys, especially considering the day before they only played till like 9 p.m. or something like that. There's Lemke. You heard me talking about him. He's going to go ahead and open the button. Brian Lemke, he's our chip leader right now. 5.4 million comes in for the raise. Andy Spears, who came into the day as our chip leader, lost a really big coin flip to Brian Lemke. He'll just lay it down on the small.
Ben's thinking pretty hard about this queen 8 off.
Yeah, I wonder if we see him play more pots now that he has more chips. Looks like he's going to come in for the 3-bet. Definitely surprising to see Ben 3-bet this hand after playing. I mean, he's been playing relatively tight for the most part.
Lemke as well.
Yeah. But I think we're just seeing Ben use his newfound chip stack. See what Brian does with the queen, with the Jack 10. He may see a flop. You think he finds a call or 4-bet more often with this type of hand?
I think call more than 4-bet, probably a decent amount of folds.
Yeah, if it flops reasonably well, you know, he can hit some straight draws and that type of stuff. So, and we know Brian is not someone who likes to give up pots lightly. Really
Pretty
super
crates
just
flop for Ben.
yeah, super dry board, and Ben's gonna love it. You know, 3-betting with the queen 8 and hitting this type of flop is always, always, always good for you. Looks like he's cutting out some chips, and he's going to go ahead and continuation bet, which I would expect to see even if he didn't hit the pair here. You know, this is the type of flop where you just always are going to continue on, and you would expect Brian to fold really a lot here. 290 is a very small bet. I think he 3-bets about 400,000 pre. Brian just looking down a king or jack high though, so not a whole lot you can do here, but it looks like he's thinking about making a call. No, he lets it go.
So these are spots where if you defend too light, you defend your open too light, like with the 10 jack, you find yourself getting in interesting spots if you decide to get crazy. I mean, it sends you
sends you down the rabbit hole.
It makes you try to win pots too often, probably. You know, because you feel like you have to make up for it.
Do you think that's the case with the Jack 10? You think he should have just folded pre-flop?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, here we see Rymax Inc., #1 in player rewards. Check out their website. They're the sponsors for our live stream today, so we thank them.
You can see this name on the table.
Yeah, they do a great job
in the background.
And they've been very good with Borgata, you know, with promotions and that stuff. They have award-winning programs and events, proven to engage, motivate, and reward, as well as create loyalty with an element of fun. RymaxInc.com for more info. Be sure to check that out. Our antes have gotten quite large too.
Well, they went up to
10K, yeah. You see the players talking about the WPT Championship 15K tomorrow. Whether or not they're going to play it. And they just played a long 3 days. 4 days, actually. This is the 4th day of this tournament. A long 4-day tournament.
I would expect all of them to play it.
I would think Lemke's going to play it for sure. I'm not sure of the other players' plans. And he opens, and Ben posturing with the 6-2, reaching for chips. I think we're going to see another 3-bet out of him.
He's really kicked it into high gear.
I'm sorry, Andy actually limped again. Looks like he's appeared to have shifted his strategy to limping the button now. And Ben is actually ISOing him with the 6-2. Really applying the pressure here. And that'll do it, though. Andy lays down the queen 9. Ben's aggression will work. It's always great to see players shifting gears as the day goes on and as chip stacks change. You know, now that Ben has chips, we've definitely seen him. We've definitely seen him be more aggressive and just play more pots in general. B Wild Poker asks, tips for live 1-2 cash games.
Wow.
What do you think? I'm going to defer to you on this one, Tyler. You are the resident live cash game expert. I don't know how much 1-2 you played. Wait. First, look at this shot of these guys.
Wow, look at those heroes.
Darren and DJ. Jesse looks like he couldn't care less.
Wow.
Joe, is Joe smiling? What is that in his face? I've never seen that from Joe.
What is that on his face? That's a good-looking group.
That was a great shot of the room right here. Signature room is my favorite here at the Borgata. It's nice, kind of. It's not small, but it's a nice kind of separate room from the rest. It's not as big and crazy as the poker room or the ballroom upstairs.
I prefer the ballroom upstairs. I like the
just you like the environment, more tables and more people.
Yeah, there's more of a buzz when it's up there, I think.
Oh, there's definitely a buzz, but I don't know. I like the kind of quietness, and you always know everyone in this room. It's more like a friendly kind of environment, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the question from Twitch. Live 1-2. I don't know how much 1-2 you played, but I know that you're definitely the resident live cash guy here.
Yeah, geez, I mean, a quick tip's kind of tough to put on the spot, but you can raise pretty much whatever size you want, and you're still going to get called, at least pre-flop. So if there's already limpers or there's already people in the pot, and you have a hand that you like, I would say to open massively. So, 6, 7x, maybe more. I think you're still going to get action, and they'll still probably check fold a lot of flops. So,
what type of strategy, just in general, do you like? You like just trying to be aggressive and win a lot of pots? You just like waiting to make hands and.
I mean, it depends on the table, but yeah, usually in a a smaller, no limit cash, you're not going to have a ton of tough spots. So. I probably play pretty loose and aggressive, and I like to make all my sizing pretty big.
Just kind of put pressure on other people, and
yeah, I'm not making a lot of a ton of bluffs, past the flop because you don't really have to very often.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty loose pre-flop, pretty aggressive pre-flop, and big sizing. I think that's a good key to a. And I'm just describing any loose passive no limit game, not necessarily 1-2 no limit, but any loose passive no limit game, I think.
So we see Ben open the cut, or yeah, under the gun is the cutoff. They're four-handed, and Jim shoves for about 25 big blinds with pocket fives.
I believe it's his second hand in a row.
Yeah, he reshoved the ace-5 last hand. I can't imagine how Ben looks him up with the ace-4 here. We actually saw Brian fold the kind of good hand of king-queen suited. And Ben mucks his hand into Jim's.
Having some fun.
Definitely a fun final table. I always like making final tables like this. I mean, even if these guys aren't all like best friends, they all know each other just from playing, and they all know that a lot of their friends are going to overlap, groups of friends and that type of stuff. So it's always good being at these tables where everybody's at least friendly with each other. This is kind of, I played the 1K6 max yesterday and today, and I knew I was at a table with, I just knew 5 of my 5 opponents. We were all like pretty good friends, and we had a lot of fun. It was a good tournament. We're still battling against each other, but it's always.
Yeah, we actually started on the same table.
We did, yeah. Me and Tyler yesterday played the same table for a while. I don't think we played any pots too big.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we played that one pot where I rivered the straight against you. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I turned a set.
Tyler,
and straight.
Yep. Tyler it was it was 3-spade flop, and Tyler had hit the 1-out turn card, and then I hit a 6-out or 4-out river to make him pay me. It was good. It worked out well for me. I got pretty.
Yeah, I hit a 1-outer. I was really lucky.
he was lucky he hit the 1-outer, but I mean, yeah.
You re-luckied him?
Sort of, yeah. There were a lot of cards that would have slowed us both down, is what I was getting at. But
yeah, that's true.
Brian Lemke folds the 10-5. Andy will let go of the 5-3. And Ben in the small blind. Yeah, okay, Ben in the small blind with the Jack-6. Eyeing up Jim's stack, and I don't know what to expect from Ben here. He's been mixing it up quite a bit. Again, if you're just joining us, those blue chips Jim is shuffling are the $5,000 chips. And then the pink and green watermelon colored ones are the 25,000 chips. So Ben does decide to give him the walk with the Jack-6.
It must be the satellite running now. We can see.
Table's filling up in there.
Who's doing the comments?